didn't manage to get that.
Hello!
Hello, everyone. How is it going?
Please find your seats. Hi, I'm Eugene Kappen,
And I am Topher Welsh.
who is in the non-speaking area again.
I'm in the
Yeah,
non-speaking.
yeah.
I'm Topher Welsh.
This is Glitched, a show about VR, in VR, where we get together and try to figure out where it all goes. Today, we have some amazing guests, but the first guest we have is the one and only Tribal Instinct.
Hey, buddies!
We have quite a few of your fans in the audience, man. I gotta say,
It's because they're amazing. We went over this. They're the best. The best.
Well, a very diverse audience.
That's true. That's true. We're equal opportunity robots, stickmen, everything. It's all good here.
Power Rangers, tiny
Not
cats.
We don't talk about the Power Rangers, actually.
We got the Black Knight. You shall not pass. None shall pass.
He's even got the leg thing going on. It's about to come off.
So before we get into it, we do need to do a little bit of cleanup. So if you try to run onto the stage, we do have two snipers who will shoot you and then boot you from the server. So you won't be able to come back, and that sucks. And we want you here next week and hang out with us and our friends, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for those few people in the audience and those people watching at home, why don't you tell them about yourself, Jesse?
About myself.
All about you.
Yeah,
All about me. I was born in North Houston, Texas. Skipping a little bit farther ahead, I have an awesome YouTube channel. Thanks to you guys, I started out streaming the Vive, as some of you guys know. Whenever I got it a little bit early, you guys just got done asking for more and more content. So here we are. We are making an awesome community of like-minded VR enthusiasts, and that's what it is. It's not about me. It's about everybody that is doing VR right now, because I legitimately believe that this is going to be where the future goes between VR, AR, AI, all those nice little two-letter acronyms. This is where it's going. So that's what I'm doing. I'm helping to make that, I don't know, whatever I can to make it a little bit more popular.
Nice.
So
go ahead.
How long have you had the Vive? Like, how long have you been doing your YouTube channel?
What month is it? I don't know. Whoa.
There's like a clap script, I think.
No.
Yeah, I got a clap script.
Trying to get my attention. Come on, stay together, Tribal. So 2 months prior to the Vive, whenever the Vive came out.
Nice.
That's how long I've been doing this.
How long have you been making YouTube videos then?
2 months since prior to the Vive came out.
Okay.
The first time I did it was whenever I got the Vive early, and I did an unboxing because people wanted to see it, and it just sort of progressed from there because people wanted to see the early content, and it just sort of, I don't know, it just kind of became a thing.
I guess what I meant to ask was, when did you get into VR? Were you into VR before the Vive?
Oh, I see.
Or did you get like an Oculus DK2 or?
No, so I saw VR in its state with like the Oculus. I'm like, that's awesome, but I am broke. So that is not going to be a thing just yet. And then I saw the Vive come out with the wands, and that's what sold it. Right. And at that point, I wasn't broke anymore. And so it was a thing.
Nice. Was there like a game that like changed your mind or blew your mind or experience or?
No. It was the moment that I saw that you could have hands in VR and you were able to walk around. That's whenever I knew that the VR has gotten far enough to where I don't care what it costs. That's going to be awesome.
Nice. I love it. So where do you see your channel going? Like you almost have like 20,000 subscribers now. So what is the future of the Tribal Instincts brand? I saw that you just
whatever they say. I don't know. Like I'm going to keep on doing videos until they stop being interested or until they find somebody better to do it. So where I see the channel, I don't know. I don't really I'm still doing it the way that I started out, which was I'm just creating videos because people are asking me to create videos. I'm not doing this with the expectation that in 10 years from now I can be a professional YouTuber. It is just this is an amazing hobby. I'm gesturing to my green screen behind me. You can't see it. Like this is so much fun. This is the most enjoyable hobby. And YouTube, thanks to ad revenue and patron support and all that, it's become a hobby that is not costing me an arm and a leg every month. Right. So I'm going to keep on doing this as long as they let me. And then I'll just keep on doing VR after they stop letting me make the YouTube stuff.
Yeah, just for your own personal.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, well, almost 18,000. That's actually quite a following. Do you ever get like recognized on the street, but like, oh, it's Jesse from Tribal Instincts. Hey man, I want to like slap your hands and
it happened one time, and it was actually whenever I had like 3,000 subscribers. I was at the Puyallup Fair in Washington, like the state fair, and some guy came up, and I worked retail for most of my life, and the guy comes up and he's like, "Excuse me." I'm like, "Oh God, I don't know where the bathroom is. I just got here. No, I can't find where you're looking for a ride." I figured he was going to ask me something, thinking that I worked there, because I've gotten that so many times. I go to Walmart. Hey, can you tell me where the toilet paper is? Yeah, 2 hours that way. I don't even work here. But then he was like, "I know you from YouTube." I'm like, wait, what? So I was there with my family, and I felt really bad because I had no idea how to respond to that. And it hasn't happened since. So, I have like half of my followers are on the other side of the planet. So the odds of us colliding are pretty low.
Topher, has that ever happened to you? Has anybody been like, "Hey, you're Topher Welsh from Glitched"?
Not from Glitched. I used to do radio in Seattle, and I actually got out of a speeding ticket one time because the cop recognized my voice.
Wow.
What? And I was like a mile from my girlfriend's house at the time, and he's like, "License registration." I was like, "I'm really sorry, officer. Here you go." I was really nice and cordial, and he goes back, and him and his cop buddy are talking, and then they both come out. I'm like, "Oh crap. What? There's no way I've done anything wrong. There's no way." So they come over there and go like, just wanna ask you, that guy from the Funky Monkey? I'm like, what? It's like, I was like, you mean the race? He's like, yeah. We recognized your voice and we looked at your license, and I was like, yeah. He's like, "Man, I can't give a ticket to that guy. Get your ass out of here." I was like, "Oh my God, thank you so much. This is so great. This is the greatest day of my life." And I've told that story for like 10 years now, and I love it.
So I've actually been in handcuffs a few times, and I've managed to talk my way out of it every single time because I get super nervous when I'm talking to cops.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's a criminal. Topher's intimidating. I'm gonna stand behind him for the remainder of this episode.
I'm gonna put some space between.
I have a bodyguard! Holy crap, guys! I've made it! I have a bodyguard.
I just reach in my chest, pull out my heart.
No.
Sorry. What were you saying?
No. It's like super weird, like every single time, because I just get so nervous that they're just like, "Oh, he's fine. He's a funny guy." Like, I was hanging out with my friends, and we were up in Bellingham, and we were like, "Man, what should we do?" We were like a bunch of college kids at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And my buddy Chris goes, "I have a TV in the trunk of my car. We should just throw it off of something."
It's a great idea. I mean,
this is a conversation that just came up.
Too. Let's film it and put it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not? So we grabbed this TV and we actually walked to this abandoned paper factory.
Okay.
That was down the street. We had to like go under a bridge, and we like went into this place, and it's like one of the old ones with like the tubes
and the asbestos,
the 4x3 format ones. And so we managed to get onto this 9-story tall building at the very top. We all touched it and like pushed it off together, and it like took forever for it to hit the ground. But when it did, it made because it still had like vacuum tubes in it. It was like a stick of dynamite going off. Yeah.
Those things are nuts.
Yeah. So we fell down. We were kind of laughing.
Sorry.
And we got back. And then as we're getting to we we're about to go down the last flight of stairs down to like the open parking garage area of this place.
Mm-hmm.
That's when like cop cars started like circling the building.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah,
what just a bomb goes off and you're surprised that cops show up?
Well, it was like in the middle of nowhere. It was Bellingham. It's kind of a college town, whatever. And like we all kind of like stopped like statue kids. Like my body formed like the pipes that were around me. So like
you don't see me.
No. And the cop shined his light right over us, and like didn't see us, and just like, well, whatever. And we're like, fuck, we gotta go. There's
your one. There's your one. Smart work. You did it.
Oh.
So we got.
Hey, my channel is a clean channel. That's actually probably the first F-bomb that's ever been dropped on my channel, and that's even with Barnacles being on it a couple times. So
First,
editing,
another VR first.
editing.
Glitch is making history here.
But this is a live show.
It is a live show. That's your one. Next time you go into the bubble. Wait, then we can hear him even more, can't we?
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
We need a new bubble.
Well, anyway, so we got down to the basement, and we're like frantically trying to find a way out of the basement. Like we're trying to pull like pieces of the wall off to like get out, and we find like a hole in the wall that's like just has a giant piece of flat board in front of it, and I pull it back, and that's when 2 cop cars pull right up, and everybody went silent.
Oh my god!
Everybody's silent, and they're like shining their flashlights inside through the hole, and they're going, "Anybody in there? You know you're in there.
No,
We'll send the dog in there.
We're not here.
We'll find you." And somebody, so it's like a big cement room in a basement, right?
Mhm.
And somebody kicked a can by accident,
Oh
Mhm.
god!
and it was so loud.
I've seen this movie.
And because you were like
I've seen this
trying to be
movie.
quiet, it's like way more. It's so intensively louder than it's supposed to be in actual reality. So
That's
I'm
funny.
the first one to like come out, and they put me in handcuffs, and I was the only one in handcuffs. And so I'm against the wall, and this like female officer is like checking me, and my first thought was like, "Hey, can you? I want to remember this later. Can you take out my phone and take a photo?" And
that was just the icing on the cake. They're like, stupid kid.
No. It was like a bunch of that, and finally, my buddy Joey, the writer over at DreamWorks, was like, "Hey, Eugene, shut up!" And he's like the nicest guy ever. So when he tells somebody to shut up, it has like way more weight than it probably should.
Yeah.
And finally, it turned out that one of the guys was getting married next weekend, and his future wife's brother was with us. There were 7 of us. And so he went, "Hey, do you think your mom will still let me marry Melissa?"
Oh, jeez.
Like in front of the cop. And he goes, "Wait, are 2 of you guys getting married?" And like, "Yeah." And like, "Oh, fuck, we'll just let you guys go." Yeah. And so like they're marching us past like the TV where it like hit the ground. I was like, "Oh, look, a flat screen."
Nice.
Yeah.
Was does that whole thing build up for that sweet dad joke?
Yes.
There you go. Maybe on that note, we should go look at some comments. What do you think?
We probably should.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's go look at some comments.
All right. Typical late night talk show format, 2 snipers and all. Oh, wow. What is this? A job interview from Shishikaleos?
Uh-huh.
Tribal, what's your biggest weakness?
Oh.
Is it
Okay.
bullets?
Are we talking about like fear or like what makes me the weak in the knees most? Because if it's the last one, it is Four Roses single barrel. Love the stuff. It's the most fantastic whiskey in the world. But other than that, it's probably got to be spiders. I hate spiders, guys. Like legitimately, spiders scare the crap out of me.
I'm allergic to being hit by bullets from guns.
No. That's
Pretty good thing.
dude. Legitimately, I have been around so many more weapons that spiders scare me so much more. I don't know what it is. I'm a big gun enthusiast. If you guys know, well, you most of you watch my channel, you understand because I did something pretty silly in my starting of YouTube. No regrets though.
If you were an animal,
Oh gosh,
which would you be and why?
Sasquatch. The why is fairly evident if you've ever seen one of my videos. The hair that you have, that like it's not just like normal arm hair where it curls up. Mine, I can comb it. I can braid my arm hair. So me and Sasquatch, we're kin.
I think you misunderstood the question. It's not which animal you most resemble. It's which one do you want to be?
I have the most familiarity with being Sasquatch, so I like staying within my comfort zone for the most part. So that'd still be it.
Okay.
Yeah. Other than that, no, there's no other animal. It's just Sasquatch. It's all Sasquatch.
What about you, Topher? What's your?
If I could be an animal, I'd probably want to be a some sort of an eagle. Because I want to fly.
I can see you being like an eagle carrying like tomahawks on fire, and like you have a cape that's American flag.
Yeah, there you go. That, and then the size of the eagles from Lord of the Rings. That's what I want.
That is awesome. I would be a social justice warrior mage.
Nice.
That's
Jesse's having
basically
fun with
somebody from Antifa.
Whoa. Let's we should pose like that. We're gonna be dropping a sick album next week.
Oh, by the way, I just want to remind everybody that we do have a giveaway.
Yeah.
So every episode we have a poster that we give away. It's signed by everybody on Glitched, and you can.
I didn't know this.
You can possibly win this poster by taking a selfie and then shooting it to my Twitter account, Captain Design on Twitter, and we pick one every episode, and then I take it and I mail it out to you guys.
I have a brilliant idea.
What?
What if our YouTube and Periscope and Twitch viewers and all them, what if they take a selfie of them watching the show live at their computer? Does that still count?
That would still count.
I think they should do that. Because even if you're not in high fidelity, you can still win if you tweet it out.
How do I take a selfie?
I think if you're in high fidelity and you want to take a selfie, you go into the menu with your little button and you go into Snap. And you hit Snap, and then it'll take a photo of whatever's in front of you in your view. So if you guys want to go ahead and do that, maybe you guys want to give some poses and stuff, and we can here, let's do this. Hey,
like I'll get really close to the edge, and I'll act like I'm scolding somebody for saying something sexist or racist.
I'm just gonna do my. Here we go. Yeah, dropping a sick album next week, guys. Woo!
There's no selfie.
Damn.
That's pretty cool.
Well,
so can I put my hands in my pocket, just like go nerdy white boy? Because that's all I know how to do, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm not a cool rapper. It's not working that way.
If only we had the foot trackers working, we could really get some cool stuff going.
Oh, I had all sorts of plans if I had the foot tracker working. Like I was going to put where I could have my controllers just stationary to where it looks like I'm holding it, and then let them go, and then grab my feet and put them above my head. I had so many plans for the feet trackers, but it fell through, unfortunately. What is that?
I wonder if you lifted your foot trackers up. Yeah, what are these?
what?
Oh,
it's a picture. Whoa.
Oh, they're actually taking photos. Yeah. That's awesome. I can't see this, Jesse.
Oh,
there we go. Nice. Can you see it, Jesse?
Oh, we are trying to hold it at the same time. Give it to me.
Oh.
All right. Cool.
These are awesome.
Selfies are a thing.
That's awesome, guys. Man, I look really stupid. Look like I'm trying to pop a squat and point it where I want to go next.
I gotta ask you, how do you like high fidelity?
I like it. I'm actually really intrigued by the scripts options. The modulability. That's not how you say that word. You know what I mean? That word. It seems pretty cool. I like what you've done with the place. This feels like a studio thing. I like it.
I dig it.
Well done.
Yeah.
So
Eugene works his butt off on this.
So speaking of updates for high fidelity and making stuff, the wallet just became available in high fidelity today.
The wallet? I don't know about this. What is the wallet?
So the marketplace is now open.
This is not a paid sponsorship. That sounded.
I was just about to say something. Wait a second. This feels like plug time.
I really just don't know.
This feels like plug time.
No, but so you can activate your wallet in Hi-Fi, and then you can either buy or sell items in their store on Avatar Island. They opened up a new space today.
Nice,
right?
That's really cool. So, can you make really high end scripts and then sell them, or
So I know it's more for models. I'm not sure about scripts, but
so the artists get paid, but the nerds get left out.
You don't think artists are nerds?
Different type of nerd. Trust me. Okay, I work in a place where there is a big room of designers and then a big room of tech people. I'm in the tech people room, okay? And you go out of there and you see what are they, little pop figurines? You see nerd stuff, right? Just computers. And then you walk down the hallway and then you smell perfume, and it's 50% dudes. And then you walk in further and then you see floral things everywhere. So yes, there is a difference between tech nerds and designer nerds.
Designer nerds.
Yeah, hipsters. I mean, it's probably almost accurate.
Like Topher.
Just like me and my man bun right here, and my sweet beard.
You're Viking. You're just straight Viking. I'm not sure if I would be able to classify you without knowing you more.
I mean, my last
here, this is
Welsh,
Viking,
but I don't know if I have too much like Nordic heritage in my body. So,
I mean, Topher and I are like, we do come from like artistry backgrounds. Like we're both fashion designers, so we would probably be in the artist room.
All right,
I would give that. I would proudly. Point at you and say, proudly wear my man bun.
What is your favorite thing on your desk right now?
My favorite thing on my desk, I got a Casey Jones pop figure, along with all my other Casey Jones little figure guys. I have a weird obsession with Casey Jones.
Okay.
So it's not on my desk, but I paid $300 for a realistic lightsaber.
I can beat you. I can beat you.
Maybe you're just going to be stuck in the hallway. You're going to be stuck in the hallway. Okay, you can't go into the designer room that I'm talking about, and you're probably still not quite nerdy enough for the tech room, but you can stay in the hallway. Don't worry, that's got the best advantage of the bathroom. No, it's still like prime real estate.
But here's the great thing about it: you can actually attach.
There's so many people out there. Sorry, more people have come in. Hi guys. I'm so excited. You guys are amazing.
There's so many Woodies. Don't come on the stage if you get sniped. Just tell
There's so many Woodies, he says.
Fair warning. I don't know why I call them Woodies. It just seems like the most
you should
natural
pick another
thing.
Name. There's so much wood poking up in the audience right now.
Whoa! I thought you had a PG channel.
Yeah,
a PG-13. Hey, listen.
Okay,
those kind of comments, innuendo, it's okay. I mean, but if you're going to be explicit, that's a different thing. For those of you that haven't been warned, rushing the stage is a good thing if you like getting sniped.
Yes.
Don't get
banned if you jump on the
rush
stage.
at the end.
So you know.
At the end, we're going to have a mosh pit at the end. They don't know this.
I was at a concert one time.
At the beginning.
I was at a concert one time. It was Ozfest, like 2007, and Rob Zombie was playing it. And someone at the White River Amphitheater got the idea that the entire lawn of the amphitheater was going to rush the stage. And I was in one of the boxes because this is like radio when I was in the radio thing. And all of a sudden, these people just start running through my box, and there's like hundreds of them, and they're jumping each box, and they all go into the stage. And it's like the biggest mosh pit I've ever seen in my life.
In VR, that sounds amazing.
Yes.
In real life, that sounds terrifying. Like, I don't want to be anywhere part of that. But in VR, that sounds kind of awesome.
I just see people like running through each other.
Yeah. Right? You get all the awesome bits without any of the, death.
All the violence and stuff.
Or unless they have like the bubble on, they'll just like disappear really quick.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh, is that what that does?
Yeah, that is what that does.
Can we make a script where we're all wearing like bubble wrap so that whenever we bump into each other, we go...
Y'all bounce off of each other like those Devin Supertramp videos.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
That would be pretty great.
Having a bubble script.
Glitch season 3. New games.
Bubble script.
Do you guys want to do some more comments? See what the chat's saying?
I'd love to see some more comments.
Let's head over here. Let's see. I hate spiders too. I really hate vaccines. Okay.
Okay.
Holla. What in God's name is this? Says Spencer Wren.
Do you want to give the pitch or should I?
If you don't know what this is the first VR talk show in VR about VR. And we're in high fidelity, and it's just a virtual talk show with a cool stage, and we are we're all real, but we don't look real, but we kind of look real.
Honestly, are you this tall in real life? I pictured you as taller.
I'm 6'2". How tall are you?
Okay, I am 6 foot even. So yeah, you're probably a little bit taller than this.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, me and Eugene are not the same height. That is for dang sure.
So I'm like this.
Yeah.
Yep. So have you ever had a Woody in your box?
Have I ever had a Woody in my box?
That's what the question says. I'm just reading it almost verbatim.
I'm trying to think of a quippy answer. No, I don't.
Only for whittling.
Yeah, there you go. Have you ever whittled anything, actually?
I was a Boy Scout till I was 18.
That's right. Of course you've whittled. The only thing I've ever whittled in my life was when I was 12 years old. I whittled my first Harry Potter wand.
I once had a crush that lived across the street, and I loved whittling. And I was out in my front yard on a little bench, and I was just like whittling a thing. And apparently, she saw me throughout the window the next day. This girl that I had a crush on. Okay, she asked me, "Why were you pretending to fish in your front yard?" And I got to tell you, and this was like in like second grade. Okay, I had no idea how to respond to that. I wouldn't know how to respond to that now anyway. But let me tell you, as like somebody in second grade, that was probably why I'm socially anxious today. Like it's just still haunts me. Here I am 31 years old and wish I had actually impressed that, crush that I had back then. Now that I'm saying that out loud, it sounds a lot weirder than it used to be, but yeah, whatever. Thank you. Thanks, guys. I've never actually said this out loud before, so this is good. You guys are helping me vent, become a better person.
I feel like you've succeeded though, because you're like married with kids now, right?
Yeah. 13 years next month, actually.
Plot twist, that's the end of How I Met Your Mother.
Wait, what?
Oh, that's awesome.
Bam, 13 years. It's crazy.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So I guess we're still waiting on Taryn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not waiting on Taryn. She's been right here the whole time. She's just gotten smaller since you put her on the thumbnail.
Yeah. All right. It's all good. It's all good.
Jesse, do you have any big projects planned? Any more involved projects planned, or do you just kind of you come up with it that week? Like, what's your process for actually creating videos?
So my process for creating videos is trying to carve out at least 10 minutes in a day to actually do something other than work and take care of family. So that's process one, is just finding the stupid time to do this stuff, because most people that don't do YouTube don't realize that, for a 10-minute video, I'm editing plus recording for 4 to 8 hours, depending on what it is. So for the most part, the games, whenever they come out, it's just this game looks awesome. This is a AAA title, I'll pass. But if it's an indie title and they want some extra, visibility, I typically go more for the indie titles. But unless the game is just amazing and I just really want to do it, like Skyrim VR. Going to be doing that one, right. But for the most part, it is it's just the games as they come up. However, there are some other things, I don't know if you saw the hot sauce video that I did. I've been wanting to do this since I ordered this hot sauce 2 months ago, and that's probably the longest planned video I've had.
I know the concept, but I haven't seen it yet.
I saw it on YouTube, but.
So the concept was based off the idea that VR can help mitigate pain, which in some types of pain, it seems like it can. By the way, that guy is dexterous as what? He's jumping from back of the seat to back of the seat. You're awesome. VR is so amazing. But anyway, so the idea was that VR can mitigate some types of pains. So let's push that and see how far it could go. So me and my daughter, we decided to take a 2.5 million Scoville unit hot sauce, which as of right now, I think is the hottest natural hot sauce in the world. You can make it go higher with just pure extract, when you can go to 9 million Scoville. But then you're just pouring on capsaicin onto your tongue. That's a whole different experience. But this 2.5 million in a sauce that is made with the primary ingredient being the hottest pepper in the world. So yeah, let's just take a spoonful of that and then jump into VR and see if that makes the pain go away. Spoiler, it doesn't.
And
not during and not after. Okay, the pain is always there.
Was it just lava coming out? Is that what it was?
Just
multiple
lava
times.
Fire.
Don't go in the bathroom for 3 days. Sorry.
So based on the content of that video, I'm assuming that you read the pain relief for burn victims then.
I don't know if I've read several of them. The concept of what VR can do outside of video games is more fascinating than what VR can do in video games. So I've read many articles. I don't know of maybe the one that you're talking about specifically, but between that and mental disabilities, my grandfather has Alzheimer's, and he has some really, really difficult memory issues right now. However, after I put him into VR, he used to be a geologist. I put him into a cave scene. It was in Realities.io. I put him in this cave scene, and he was just walking up and trying to touch the rocks. And he was like, "Gosh, I wish I had my hammer so I could take a sample of this." He was talking about this for weeks later, and that is the best his memory has performed in the past 3 or 4 years. So that's what really gets me excited, is things like that. But anyway, so sorry. I know that's kind of a tangent, but no, I don't know if I've read that particular one, but other things like that have a deep interest to me.
Huh. Well, I think we should go to the comments one more time, then open it up for questions.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right. Hello there, says Imaginal Extrines. Nice. Do you guys like webcomics?
I do. I'm a big fan of Mega Tokyo.
I don't read too many webcomics. I read the Oatmeal every once in a while, but...
Okay.
XKDC counts, right?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Huge fan of webcomics. And
All right. You can use Blender, Maximo, or whatever, which is your favorite 3D model program. As for feet tracking, you can use Vive trackers. Lip tracking is automatic. There's also binary VR camera.
What was that? The what? Binary VR
camera.
I'll have to look into that. Thank you for the tip, Flame Solus. Let's see. Did they read the chat? No, think so.
Nathy, would you continue or would you consider doing YouTube full time? No, I'm not as awesome as you, Nathy.
Oh,
wait, where's the camera go? Where's Nathy? Hold on.
Hi,
There's Nathy. Not everybody can be as awesome as you, brother. Okay, but no, I mean, if I could have a sponsor, yeah, it'd be awesome. But you know, that's probably not in my future. But it is fun. Congratulations to you, man.
I'm 12, and what is this?
Ask your mother.
But you know, let's everybody answer. Topher, would you go full time on YouTube?
Absolutely, that sounds amazing. Being, I could not go full time on YouTube right now the way I sit, but I think that would be an amazingly fulfilling job, like doing content creation all day long, and it's just fun, and you get to do things like this. You get to be creative. I love it.
So, fun fact. While Topher didn't get to work on like the creation of everything, I actually have been able to go YouTube full time because of this show, or at least for the last little while. So I'm full time.
Hey, congratulations.
Nice.
Thanks.
Too bad we can't clap high five.
So there was one question that scrolled out from Cole is what advice would I give to new content creators? And I think that one is actually a pretty important one because a lot of people do this or they see this and like, I want to do this. And YouTube can probably be one of the most demoralizing things that you can do to yourself because you go on, you present yourself out there, and not everybody is as fortunate to find from the start the awesome people that I have.
Right.
So the comment section can get dreadful and depressing and terrible. So, and not only that, but you start to see like, oh, I've put 20 hours into this and only 2 people saw this video.
Right.
The only reason why I would encourage anybody to do YouTube related stuff is if you love what you're doing while making the content, don't do it for what happens after you press upload. So this is, I've seen a lot of people either start before me, start after me, and then they see views not coming in, or they see the comments coming in, they get discouraged, and a lot of them go to a pretty dark place. So don't start this unless you love the content and do it for the content. Don't do it for anything else. Bad idea.
I got to tell you, I've actually been doing YouTube for like 8 years, and then content creation like this for 10. And
wow.
I actually went and got a bachelor's degree in YouTube studies.
Nice. You love it.
Yeah, I absolutely love it.
Right.
And it wasn't until like VR became a thing that I was like, okay, you know, I have something to move away from, but all those skills that I gained working on YouTube videos at a YouTube consulting company and in college running Comic Shop TV has made me very talented in VR space as far as like creation and networking and those sort of things.
Yeah, I gotta say the YouTubers that I see that are the most successful always started because they wanted to make videos and they didn't care what anyone else thought. And those are the people who always succeed.
That's why I didn't start this because I wanted to make videos. That's why I don't have 5 million subscribers. I did it because of VR. Does that count though?
Hey, if you do it, do it because it's what you love. Hey, man, you're good in my book.
I saw that VR article that had like the top 15 VR YouTube channels. We weren't on there. We weren't on there.
I don't know, man.
I don't know what's up with that.
There's so many people that are better at this than I am. Like I am so happy for the people that are on there. Like it's just like I'm doing this just for these people. I don't care.
Yeah, but my whole gripe was like the number 15 spot only had 550 subscribers.
Well, did you look at their channel?
Yeah.
Was it awesome?
There was like almost nothing there.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I can't speak to that then. I don't know.
500 subs and like 50,000 views.
500 subs. I don't want to argue with you about it. But I mean, 500 subs don't matter. It is the quality of their content. Everybody got to start somewhere. So 500 subs, 5,000, 5 million. Like you start somewhere. So I could see that.
Good on them for getting on a list, is what I say though. Good on them. They're getting places. They got on the list. We didn't get on the list. Maybe we got to hustle more. I think.
Huh. I don't
Stay
know,
tuned for
Boo.
Glitch Season 3 after Season 2. We will be back. Dropping sick
like
levels.
just avatars.
Yeah,
up in
what
the
is
rafters.
this? They're just hanging out.
Oh, wow. I tried getting on the bubble and I failed. You're my hero.
You guys are really good at that. It's probably the same guy that was doing the hardcore parkour earlier.
Dance. I want to see somebody dance from the pole lights. Don't
He's
fall.
trying.
Don't
He's
fall.
trying. He's trying.
I hold my beer.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's awesome, man.
Well, I think we should open up the bubbles and take questions from the people in the audience.
Let's do that.
I think we have a lot of people that want to ask questions. I think this dude is probably going to be first as soon as you put the level down because he has like positioned himself.
Okay. Snipers,
cool.
take down the bubbles. If you'd like to ask all of us questions, jump up to the mic, and we'll start this whole thing.
Start this whole Q&A. First up.
The first person to ask a question gets a high five from all of us.
Yeah. Come on, guys. You're killing me. I'm gonna. Do I need to take someone's hand?
I got this.
You gotta ask us questions, Jesse.
Eugene?
Started.
Yeah.
No, this is for both Eugene and Topher.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Jesse. I've been watching your show for a while. It's awesome.
Thank you.
How do you get your hair into a bun like that?
You know, it is.
We've all. I've heard the rumors and the rumblings. We've all been waiting to hear this answer.
You know, it's. I wrap it up really, really tight, and then I soak it in the blood of my Viking victims, and then it dries, and then it becomes a hard surface, and it never comes out. So I'm actually kind of stuck with it.
Nice. Okay, I'm done here.
I feel like I just want to call it the nub.
The nub. It does kind of look like the nub.
It's a Viking nub.
His girlfriend would be confused.
Hey, isn't bun nub backwards?
His wife. What?
Oh, wife.
My wife. The girl.
Oh, your wife. Your wife would get confused. I'm sorry for insulting you by saying wife.
No. It's like so.
Eugene has a joke. He thinks I'm way out of my league, basically. As good best friends always do, you know. Like
no. So yeah, like when I first met Topher, I also met his wife, and I was like, I wonder what's the deal. And then I realized he had 2 kids, and I was like, oh, maybe he like married her and took on the responsibility of being like a dad to her 2 kids. And then it turned out that the kids
those are
were
my
his,
kids.
and
those are my kids, and my wife is the most wonderful woman in the entire world. And
so it just got. The rest of us are just like, okay, we still don't get it. But whatever.
He doesn't understand how I can snag a girl as beautiful as my wife.
But
and
I
it's okay.
love Topher. He's
it's
one
okay.
of my best friends.
It's okay, buddy. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, buddy.
I have a similar confession. My wife and I, we got married in high school. So snagged it before she had a chance to get away.
There you go.
13 years later, and that explains why this thing got married. It looks like we have a question whether or not he wanted to. It might have been a coerced bringing into the mic stereo. I'm not quite sure.
He might have fallen off the rafters.
No, it wasn't me.
Okay.
Justin, can you hear me?
What's up, man?
Yeah.
All right. I had a question. What is your opinion about VR like simulators with like hydraulics and everything? Because I'm a junior in high school, and I was visiting a college that I'm looking at, and they have a VR like simulation course where they'll actually go through the whole process of building a simulator. And
that's really cool.
What?
What? You go to an awesome high school, by the way.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, they built a VR Millennium Falcon simulator with hydraulics and like everything. And they built everything.
Okay, so what is your like? You're asking for our opinion. Like, are you just asking, do you find that amazing? Because the answer is obviously yes.
Yes.
Or is it more in depth, like the future of simulation like devices? Specifically, what's your question? Is that it?
Yeah, just sort of like what are your opinions on like how that can be applied to like future
So legitimately, I'm hoping that in 15 to 20 years that we don't need them. I'm hoping for like a neural implant.
Right.
Like that would be fantastic. I would hope to never actually have to need a simulator. However, until we get to that point, right now, like if I just do this without actually having the snapping, it's terrible. However, as soon as you're able to fake the vestibular effect, then you're good to go. So I think those are absolutely going to be fantastic for like arcade stuff, and more importantly for training. We are going to save so much money and get so many more people qualified for some pretty intense jobs. Firefighters, space people. That's what they're called these days, right? Space people. So that's what I think it's going to be for.
Or you can probably get a job at the happiest place on earth, Disneyland.
Yeah.
Working on the creation of some VR rides, right?
That's true, yeah.
That'd be sick.
I think VR simulation, like the flying simulators you've seen where you can is it Icarus? Is that game? With the flying simulator, or I don't know, just like atmospheric effects and even like driving simulators with the hydraulics and stuff. I've done some driving simulators. I haven't done the flying ones yet, but dude, those are that's some next level stuff.
It takes it up to a whole different experience. It is so different. Like VR by itself, even with the hands, like that is 10 times better than what we had 3 years ago. Simulators take it up another couple levels. Once we have it to where we don't need any of it, then I never go anywhere ever again.
Well, that actually brings up a whole different point. So you said you're a junior in high school, right?
I am.
Okay. What's your name?
Aerith.
Aerith.
So Aerith, the thing that I went to school for, by the time I got out of college, the information I received was already obsolete.
Yep.
So I would recommend a degree in computer science, where the information is quickly applicable and there is a foundation that still has a future. If I took a course on virtual reality right now, by the time I got out, it would 100% be obsolete.
Yeah, totally.
I'm not looking at the school for VR. I'm actually looking at the school for film, but it was just something that I noticed while I was there.
Oh,
cool.
Okay.
On the topic of going to school for computer science, just quick plug for all the people that can't afford it. I am a self-taught developer at one of the most influential tech companies in the world. This is not me bragging. This is me saying you don't need college to go and work at the most amazing tech careers. Yes. Google is just as good as teaching you what to do if you are self-motivated. So college is not a barrier. I went the first 7 years after getting married and getting out of high school, working working retail jobs, working at Blockbuster and GameStop, working 60, 70 hours a week because I thought that I couldn't do it. And then finally things happened and I finally got over that. And over the course of 3 years, I went from knowing hardly anything about tech to being a software developer at one of the major companies of the world. So don't let college be a limiting factor in what you do.
I have kind of a similar story as him, but I work in video and motion graphics and stuff, and I am also self-taught. So, dude, do as many online tutorials as you possibly can and get ahead of the curve. Don't wait for school to teach you everything. Make as many cool stuff make as many cool things as you can while you're learning, and you'll excel.
Yeah, certainly. And do I get a high five from all of you?
High five!
Yeah, here, come on.
Up here.
Oh.
Boom.
Oh.
Awkward.
Just behind you.
I came over to high five him, and then he appeared. I'm waiting here.
He's behind you, Jesse.
This is as far as I go.
There you go.
That's awesome, man. Thank you for the question.
Thanks, man. Do we have another brave soul willing to ask a question?
Magical. It feels so good.
And we got another brave soul over here. Step right up, buddy. Name and where you're from if you're comfortable with that.
Darling, and I'm from High Fidelity.
Oh, I know you, darling. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Oh man,
Whoa.
I love your show.
Thanks.
It's awesome.
Oh, are you talking about Tribal?
Yeah, I watch his show.
Oh, you watch my show?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's.
I thought you were talking about these guys. I'm like, they're awesome. I agree.
Every single episode. What are you talking about? Of course he likes our show.
I'm just gonna go in the back and cry for a bit. Then I'm...
Sorry, man.
So what's up, man? What's your question?
Well, I was going to ask you about like some like web VR and comparing that to like a lot of programs right now are games are written in Unity or Unreal Engine. Do you think, like I read an article recently talking about how web VR could make it much quicker and faster to put things together and really get apps out there? What are your opinions on the comparison between maybe web VR and game engines that are like Unity or High Fidelity or those kind of things?
Sure. So I don't actually have a lot of experience with web VR. However, I can say that anything that takes it from being a compiled thing that you have to download and distribute, I think there is huge amounts of benefit there, regardless of the speed of time to market. The mobile platform is where VR needs to be for it to become mainstream. It's not like the Gear VR like we have right now, but we need some very robust and lightweight options that we can do in a mobile platform. So yeah, I think web VR is going to be huge. I don't think that that's going to necessarily replace Unity and Unreal and the more heavy applications. Both of them have their place for different types of things. So I don't think that there's an easy way of saying this is better than the other one. It's just they both have their different uses, and web VR does have the extra benefit of where you can get it out to mobile a little bit easier, a lot easier.
Nice. Thanks so much. And
thank you.
I do love your guys' show too.
Thanks, man.
You don't have to lie for us. That's okay.
Right on. Do we have another question up here? Step right up. What's your name? Where are you from?
Yeah, I'm Faraz. My name's Faraz, and I come from Dubai and those Arabian Gulf, basically. Yeah.
Salam alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Yes. Shukran.
Yeah. So, I'm also the first year in my university, and you guys said that like self-teaching yourself is like the best way, right?
Whoa, hold on. Before you go any farther, I do not mean to say that it is the best way. I am saying that people that do not have the ability should not limit themselves. Schooling is fantastic. It is amazing. It is good. But if you can't do it yourself. That's all. That's the only point I was trying to make.
Yeah. Anything you ever want to learn, there is always a video by a 10-year-old that can teach you how to do
it. Yeah, but that's not a complete replacement for schooling. But I'm just saying it should not be a replacement. So sorry, I don't know if that changes your question, but I needed to correct that right now.
Why are there so many 10-year-olds? That's all I'm asking.
My thought on that is that if you don't learn on your own and you don't teach yourself, you more than likely don't have the drive to really get into that industry. And this is such a competitive industry. When you have so much invested in your schooling and what you want to do, if you have the motivation to teach yourself, you're going to succeed. At least I feel better than most because you have that drive.
I didn't mean to cut you off. So what's the rest of the question?
No, it's okay.
Or does that answer it?
My question was like, I'm also studying computer science, and so I'm also teaching myself at the same time.
Good.
And I got really into like VR and stuff, and I wanted to try doing it on Unity and stuff like that. But I feel like the problem is with like getting into VR development specifically, even at my stage, like I don't really know fully development, like coding exactly and everything. I mean, I know the basics, but I can't go any further than that. But I just wanted to know, like, as you guys are probably like into the, like you can develop specifically tribal, like you would know how to develop a game, right? So coming from someone who's just started computer science, do you think as of now, can I like somehow start like my road to just being a full-on VR game developer?
Starting? Absolutely. So I don't know the right way of getting started. I know how I did it, which was I found something that has been written by somebody else and that I could go in and I could read how they did it and then modify it, tweak it, and make it my own. So that's not necessarily starting with your own game. Like the idea of going in and say, I'm new to this, I'm going to go write a game. That's that's kind of dangerous because there are so many things that are just pitfalls that you don't know exist, and it ends up being a fairly depressing thing whenever it's like, gosh, I just don't have the ability to do this. So the way that I did it was I started off just sort of modifying somebody else's work, and then I went through and said, cool, I know how to do that now. I can think of this one way that I can use this thing that I learned for something else. And to just lay it out there, I started out actually in Minecraft, of all things. Minecraft is server modification, to where I took some server mods, I tweaked them a little bit, and then I started actually learning how to make my own. And then I started this massive undertaking. But I started very, very small with it, where I wanted to create something a little bit that I knew how to do, but then every single feature that I added to it after that was beyond my ability by just a little bit. And so every single time I stretched myself and continuously gave myself projects that were fun, that were engaging, but were also harder than what I could possibly do without having to go forth and actually research it. So for me personally, I think that was the only way that I could really learn, was by continuously giving myself something that I would enjoy while pushing the boundaries of what I could possibly do at that time.
Okay, so Unity actually has a YouTube course for free. You can download the personal version of Unity, and you can go through the videos step by step and teach yourself how to do it. If you're going to build something custom for yourself, I definitely would say start small.
Yeah.
And you're actually in high fidelity. You can write your own scripts, make your own models, and bring it into the sandbox and make your domain really yours. I mean, I spent a month of my life making all of this. Well, all of that out there, but this is from some stock stuff. But I still was able to do it myself. And anytime I have questions, there is a wonderful community inside of High Fidelity that will help answer any questions that you actually have.
Yeah, man, baby steps, not long leaps. You got to start somewhere. Everyone starts somewhere. So
yeah, that's mostly my issue, is I have to distinguish between these baby steps or large steps, because I just want to do everything at once. And
okay. There's a really good YouTube channel that I like that I've been following. It's Fused VR, I think. And what they do is they take a you're gonna make a shooter, and they'll walk you through all the steps to make a very rudimentary version of Pavlov or Tilt Brush or Audio Shield or something. And it's a really great way to make something from the ground up. But it's obviously a copy of something, but you learn a lot on the way. So there's nothing wrong with that.
So I would say set aside 3 to 4 hours every week in a block. And ask yourself, what can you get done in those 3 to 4 hours during the week? And then just see how far you can take it. And if you don't quite finish it, follow it the next week, where you've taken an entire week basically replanning and rehashing and rebuilding everything in your mind. And hopefully after 10 or 11 weeks, you'll have a fully finished product.
That's what Eugene does. He does a thing called Evening Coffee, where he just basically makes things for 10 weeks, and you get to see the result and build it with him and watch him build it. It's really cool. Actually, just check it out.
Actually, the last thing I built was in After Effects. I built a 360 Super Mario VR experience, where you're going through the first level, and you can look around, and you get the power-ups, and you're killing Goombas and shooting fireballs and stuff, and it's up 100% free on YouTube, on my YouTube channel.
Nice. Well, we got about 4 minutes left in the show.
We actually started 5 minutes late, so we have
we did
9. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Never mind. Thanks for your question, man. Do we have any more questions from the audience, or maybe we should go? I think we got one over here, actually.
Hi.
What's up?
Just wondering what you guys think about the future of VR multiplayer games, because at the moment a lot of them kind of die out after a few months.
Well, I think that's really the nature of all multiplayer games, unless there's a community based around it, or there's a sense of competition. I mean, say it's not quite VR, but League of Legends, huge community behind that, and that's what's kept the game going. So now that we have VR multiplayer games like Echo Arena or Onward or the Unspoken, as long as those communities continue to thrive, those games will continue to thrive and not die out like other games.
So what's really interesting is that This is not unique to VR. It's very obvious in VR just because there's a larger percentage of them. However, there are so many multiplayer games that are released to just flat screen monitors that just completely fizzle out because there's not enough players to play them. Now, VR has the extra problem right now because instead of like millions of players, there's 1 million players that can play the same game. Now, I think that this problem will kind of go away, meaning that you're not going to have the same problem where like 75 to 90% of your games fizzle out within the first few weeks. I do think that over time that's going to get better to where you don't notice the sad, unfortunate indie titles that just don't make it. Those are always going to be around. However, I do think that there has been some amazing light recently with Payday 2, where you have VR working fantastically with flat screen, and that is not an issue. So you can have multiplayer VR games that are cross-platform compatible, and then you don't have the same issue of VR not yet being mainstream. Whenever VR is mainstream, then this is going to be a forgotten problem at that point. But until then, we have lots of options that VR developers can do. However, I would just like take a second and encourage the VR developers that are currently making multiplayer exclusive titles to really think hard about how they go about it. And cross-platform, I really think, is what's kind of required until VR takes off. But already, things like Onward, like the games can do it, and it's just going to get easier over time, but they need something else to hold their hands at the moment. And also, you should join my Discord because there's a lot of people that play multiplayer games there where you can just go in and start them up. And we can do that. And hopefully, guys, soon I can do the Project Reanimate again to where we can all just like do it in mass. But yeah,
you know what I'm really excited about is VR esports. Like esports getting into the VR market, like really competitively, like having arenas of different vibes. And why are you guys touching each other's faces?
He was giving me a back massage. I think I couldn't really feel it.
But yeah,
really,
having
really
like
baby hands.
the big VR arenas, like you know, they have like the Dota tournaments or like League of Legends tournaments. Imagine having like an entire like arena full of vibes, and people are just like, get down, get down. It would just be mayhem. It would be so much fun.
The future is coming, just not here yet.
We got another question over here. Oh, maybe he's backing away. I don't know. Maybe.
No, that was me from the other side. The other bubble doesn't work. You can't hear when you're in the other bubble.
Oh, okay.
Anybody else?
I think this guy's got one.
We could hear them, so.
Yeah, we could hear him. I guess we'll restate the question if they go over there.
All right.
What's your question?
Uh-oh.
I don't think your mic's working, buddy. I don't think your mic's working. Anyone else? Maybe you get it working, you come back on.
There's an audio thing in the settings that tripped me up.
So many Woodies. There's so many of them.
A shot of this.
This is crazy. There's so many Woodies.
All new people who have never been in high fidelity before.
Dude, we are bringing people into the future.
You guys are amazing.
People into the future with Glitched. This is awesome. I love it.
All right, let's see.
Let's hit the chat up real quick before we have to end the show. Let's see. When the Knuckles controllers come out, will you guys have finger tracking also?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
I would love that. Oh my god. Tava says, "Oh, gotcha." Oh, never mind. Do a barrel roll, says Eric Newman. Do a barrel roll.
It's Thornton. Hey, Tribal.
Hey, man.
Good to talk to you. Go on, I'll ask a question. If you could add any one thing for VR gaming or any one thing for VR recording and streaming, what would it be?
Oh, man, if I could add any one thing for... Okay, wait, say that question one more time. Let me process it.
Okay, so if you could add any one thing to VR for your gaming experience, or you could add any one thing for your recording and streaming experience for VR, what would it be?
So those are two completely separate aspects of it. For the gaming aspect, I'm gonna do both of them. For the gaming aspect, I would say that touch, like specifically like haptic. What's it? Not haptic, but pressure. I want an exoskeleton. Okay, that's kind of what I'm getting at. I want an exoskeleton. That way, I can punch a wall and my hand stops. That's what I need for gaming. Before we have the neural implants. For recording, I want a robot that can kind of move around like this guy is doing right here, but I want it to be a robot, not to put this guy out of a job. You're doing a fantastic thing. But for my room, I want like kind of a robotic thing for mixed reality because it makes all the difference, and it would be so fun just to work on that project. It would be kind of cool for the videos, but it would just be an awesome project.
I had a really cool idea for a rig for a camera. Is if you had a robotic slider that was on like a track, and it had face detection, where you built it in with the like the Vive, where it could see the sensors, and so it would move on a curved track around your room, but always have you in focus.
It's been done. It's been done with a few other things, so I know it's possible. It just be it's so expensive though. I looked at the stuff, and it's like $5,000 to add like 5% extra value to my YouTube videos. So I'm like, maybe not yet.
Maybe at 1 million subs.
Maybe at 1 million. No, for sure at 1 million. Yeah. It's
Tribal Instincts, go! Tribal Instincts fam, go!
Huh? What?
Tell your friends.
Tribal Instincts fam, go! Bring them all in. Get you the 1 million subs so you can make your stuff.
You need it as a Patreon goal.
There you go.
Yeah. A Patreon goal. 1 million subs. I start taking over the world. Oh wait, no. I mean, I start making robotic cameras.
Right on. Any more questions? I think we have time for one more question, right, Eugene?
Yep, we got time for one more.
And I'll be around after this if anybody has anything else.
Yeah, we'll do a little hangout afterwards too.
For genres of video games, which genres do you think don't work in VR?
That's a really good question.
Which genres don't work?
I would make the argument that I haven't really thought about that, but I think you can make anything work.
70s arcade games like Pong don't work in VR.
I have a different answer. Horror games, because I'm a wimp. I never want to see another one again because people keep on encouraging me to play them. So I'm just going to blatantly say that horror games don't work in VR.
Can you back away from the mic because your speakers are on?
Okay.
But no, I mean, I think most games can be adapted to VR. I will say that for now, strategic turn-based games don't compel me to put on a headset as much as most of the other games do, because I am just as content playing like Dungeons and Dragons pen and paper, because then you have like the strategy. It's more of like a cerebral type experience versus other games like Island 359 or Raw Data, where it's just like it's all about the visuals and shooting stuff and using your hands. So I really think that VR really needs that to make it better than a flat screen, which most games do get better with VR. But I think most of the games that you're doing in your head, like for example, there's no way I'm putting on a headset to play Sudoku, but I love Sudoku. Okay, so that's what I like. I think that's probably where I would say that VR is not really too very helpful.
It's all about coulda, not about shoulda.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't use VR as a gimmick. That's what it is. So anyway, with that, we do have to call it a night.
Yeah, we are gonna.
Okay, so. Hey everybody, thank you so much for coming to this episode of Glitched.
Thank you so much.
We invite all of you back next week when we have Andrew Edwards and Cuba VR, which should be really exciting. Everybody, Jesse, where can the people find you who haven't been to your channel before?
They can find. Well, these are all my friends, man. They all know. For everybody else that's watching, you can go to youtube.com/tribal instincts, and you can check me out there, or just come to my Discord. I don't know if it's okay. Could I put a link in y'all's video for my Discord, because it's a VR hangout. It's not about me. It's about the community. So I don't know if you'll let it or not. You can edit this out.
100%. 100%.
Awesome. Okay, so I'll put a link to my Discord. That's where I want you guys. Like, if you want to come see my videos, that's cool. But what I want is for a group of people that can come in, be awesome to each other, and play some VR games with each other.
We'll also give you a playlist so they can see the other episodes.
Cool.
We'll trade. Topher, where can the people find you?
You guys can find me on twitch.tv/VR__nation. 2 underscores. It's stupid, I know. On Twitter @toe_fur, and on Instagram @toe__fur, and youtube.com/VRNation.
That was so much.
I know. I have so many things.
So much.
I'm all over the place. I'm worldwide, son.
They're not uniform at all.
No, they're not. I know. I got to work on my branding.
Okay, so everybody, if you took a photo, send it to me on Twitter @CapOnDesign.
And tag me @toe_fur too.
Sure.
I want to see it too.
I love it.
Send me a message.
Okay.
Add us all.
Or you can see other episodes of Glitched on my YouTube channel, Cap on Design TV. There'll be a link in Tribal Instincts video as well. And so thank you so much for coming. Stay glitched. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Yeah, everybody's clapping. Thank you, guys.
Jesse, this way. Okay.
You're so amazing. I love you guys.
Jesse's way too excited.
Howdy. It's not good to do.